Hello, welcome back. Thank you for joining me. I'm going to be talking about rules. Rules, we seem to be surrounded by them at times. Or we begin with them early in life and they carry on through. Of course, when we hit the teenage stage, that's when they start to rebel against the rules, isn't it? If you've got teenage sons, daughters, grandchildren, then you'll know what I mean. If you say to them, in by such a time, oh, well, everybody else can stop out later. Nobody else's parents have to have them in at that time. It's always the whole world against them, isn't it? But generally, we have rules that are there to help within the family, rules to help within institutions such as schools and businesses, within society as a whole. And of course, there are those of us who will dutifully keep to them, and those who seem to think that rules, they're for others, not for me. I'm above that sort of thing. Especially those who have actually had a hand in making up these rules. And I am going to name no names. So, the rules for children. Well, no, don't do that. It's not a good idea to draw on the walls because that spoils it for everybody else, etc., etc. But there are some families who don't believe in saying no to children, in setting boundaries, in allowing them to find their own way into things and through things. I'm not quite sure how I would have been able to have coped with that one. As a parent, certainly. But if it works for them, then fine. But does it work out in society where there are rules that those children will be expected to keep to? I can remember in secondary school, walk on the left-hand side of the corridor. People would mumble, oh, why do I have to do that? But then fortunately, when they got a bit older and maybe got to driving, they presumably saw the wisdom of keeping two separate sets of traffic, be it on foot or in the things that we call cars and motorbikes, etc., that it is a good idea to have set ways of behaving. Though having said that, you have to remember if you swap countries. I know we went on a holiday to France and my husband went early one morning to get bread, etc., from the local village, and he came back saying, oh, he'd gone all the way down the hillside, along the side of a river to get to the village, driving on the wrong side of the road. Fortunately, he didn't meet anybody coming back on the right side of the road, so he somehow remembered for his way home and got back in one piece. So when we're in school, we have the rules that we have to obey as part of our learning. The rules for maths. If you've got addition, subtraction, multiplication, division, the brackets, the order, the rules by which we need to follow to work through those processes correctly. And once you have, it's all very logical and it's makes sense. When it comes to the English language, the vagaries of the English language, we've developed our language from so many different sources. We've got bits of Latin, bits of German, bits of goodness knows what thrown in. And that doesn't help at all. And we've got the rules, I before E, except after C. And the same with so many other things that the exceptions seem to actually equate more with the general run of things than the actual rule. But teaching little ones to read and write, it's not an easy thing for some of them. Some just soak it up like a sponge and it happens. When parents share books with them rather than make sure they stoically work out each word, then that helps as well. And a home that has books in it, that also sets an example that books aren't something that are just for school. Books are for home, books are for life. But when it comes to the phonic part of learning to read and write, it can be confusing. I mean, parents know that the letters are called A, B, C, D, E, etc. But then those aren't the sounds that those letters make within phonically regular words. And when you start talking about the sounds as in a, k, etc., they think that that's just talking baby talk. So getting them on side, getting them understanding how things work is always a good step forward. But having said that, there are those exceptions. And I used to show this to parents who said, well, learning to read and write is easy. I said, okay, look at this word. Reading it as it looks, as in goatee, that's an ancient tribe, I think it's in India, but we don't really talk about them very often. So I said, using the rules that we apply throughout our phonically regular words, what else could that read as? I have no idea. So, the G and the H, if we read those as in tough, we start off with a F sound. The O, if we read that as in women, it becomes an I. So we've got F, I. And what about the T and the I? Well, if we use it as it's used in nation, we've got a sh. So it can read as fish. But then again, it can also take another turn. If we read the G and the H as in though, it disappears. If we read the O as in people, it disappears. If we read the T as in ballet, it disappears. And yeah, if we read the last letter, the I as in business, it becomes an invisible word. So don't be surprised if you have little ones who struggle with phonics. The English language really is a mishmash, and sometimes it can be rather complicated. So follow the rules that you need to follow. Don't beat yourself up if you break an occasional one, so long as it's not something that is of vital importance or important on the health and safety point of view. And don't say, Dee said to break it. So thank you for listening. Take care, and do please subscribe and tick the like and the share buttons. I really, really would like this little channel of mine to begin to grow some, so your help and support would be very much appreciated. Take care. Bye.